The Farm Chief YouTube channel, that's where you are. Special appreciations to our good sponsors, that is Faith Agro Uganda. If you're looking for good seeds, be it crops, be it plants, okay, any kind of crop, any kind of seed you're looking of, you just visit them. They are located in Container Village, in front of a Copper Complex Gate. That's where you will find them, Faith Agro. They give us a lot of money to move around, to look for such content, to look for different farmers, to add a knowledge with you guys, such that we can gain and to protect against steal. My name is Dipatoka Telega, the Farm Chief. Today, I want to give you answers. I want to answer the questions that you've been asking in the comment section about maize farming. People have been asking how to feed if you are to do fresh maize farming or fresh maize harvesting to get money. How to feed from day one up to harvesting time. That's what we're going to talk about today. I'm with the director, Faith Agro, Ambrose, still to give us those answers. How to feed to get good yields, as you will see in this episode. Could you please say hi to our good viewers and their farmers as well?
Thank you very much. First of all, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching us from. This is Faith Agro Inputs, your trusted partner when it comes to farming. And not forgetting, as Faith Agro, we partner with the people who understand the science of seed. And that is, on my left is Decalb, is Delcalb, is saying Seed Your Success. And on my right is Seedco, the Pan-African company. Now today what we're trying to demonstrate is the nutritional program. I know people are admiring the type of crop we are seeing. Actually, even the air we are breathing is very cool and good. Now, what is the story? First of all, our dear viewers, I always begin with this. Number one is getting the right seed. When you get the right seed, you are able to, because right seed is characterized by right genetics, so that you are able to get good quality product that the market will be proud of. Then from there, we look at the spacing. I'll not get tired of talking this, because I might give you the right feeding pattern. When the spacing is wrong, still we shall not get what we want. So here we are demonstrating of a spacing of 30 by 90 centimeters. Not forgetting our signature narrative, plant one seed per hole. When it comes to germination, leave it to us. It is our duty to defend that germination.
But if I've already paid my money to you guys, I've taken the seeds, they have not germinated, yet you told us that we should leave germination process for you.
Because before we give you the seed, we must ascertain that germination is 100%. And that is what, and all farmers out there who are watching this can attest to that.
Let us assume it has not germinated.
Never, unless that one you've not planted, you've buried. Are we together? When you plant, it will germinate. If you bury, it will not germinate. Now the question is, what the difference between burying and planting? Actually, that is a story for another day.
Let me ask you this, Ambrose, for the benefit of our farmers, being that we're talking about feeding and planting as well. If I, like, how can I phrase it? Like, the size of a hole. What should be the size of the hole? You've told us, you've talked about the spacing, 30 by 90, but what should be the size of the hole measurements? Because you've talked about burying and
planting.
planting.
Now the size of the hole, it should be on average 20 centimeters wide and 10 centimeters deep. Now ensure that you plant your seed, you plant your seed in a soft ground. I know these farmers have this tendency, more especially in Uganda, whereby they spray and then dig the holes and plant. It is acceptable because you bear with them. Sometimes the labor cost is too high and somebody is trying to cut the cost. So, but now, when you are planting, when you are digging holes in that environment, ensure that you use a forked hoe. Forked hoe, this one that has teeth,
spears,
or forogo in a simple term. Then the size of the hole also matters because we need enough soft ground. Then from there we look at the fertilizers. Fertilizers are very critical. It can be organic fertilizer or inorganic fertilizer, or even the two. Like here we use the two. We combine the organic and inorganic. And the organic, the ones that we use, the inorganic is the one, there is a brand, is organic fertilizer called SR Organic. The one that is made from poultry manure with some bagasse to ensure that the plant is able to attract the right nitrogen. And then when we are planting, we can blend that SR Organic with the Aramira Power. Because at the same time, remember, we are living in a place whereby we don't know when is the next precipitation or the next set of rainfall. So we are also mindful on coming up with ways, also methods that are friendly to the farmer, and the farmer can easily adopt them. So when you are planting, we use Yaramira Power. Yaramira Power, this is how the grain looks like. But I'll request that you get in touch with us, so that the grower is able to. This is just a sample. I know Yara will falter me, and probably he has the cattle. He will show them how Yaramira Power looks like, because now this one may not be the right.
It comes to branding.
Yes. So we shall put the Yaramira Power. Why Yaramira Power? Because it's a special formulation.
At what stage?
When we are planting. When we are planting. And when we are planting, what we do, you first put the fertilizer, add some bit of soil, put the seed and cover. Now, why do we put the fertilizer, add some soil and then cover? Remember, a typical Ugandan farmer, when he's planting, he does not plow. He digs the hole, puts the seed, and then puts the fertilizer and the seed, and then plants. Remember, where the hole stops when you are digging, it's always a hard surface. So imagine condemning your seed there that you germinate, it becomes a bit difficult. Now, why we come up with the issue of putting fertilizer, cover with some bit of soil, then put the seed on top. You know, when this seed is germinating, the root goes down. As it goes down, it goes into the fertilizer zone, and then the shoots comes out. You see? It's like when I have something I throw to you, you'll not catch using your head. Of course, you'll use your hand. For this case, we are using the root as the hand to colonize where the fertilizer zone where we put it. That is one. Now, the beauty with the Yaramira Power, I can state without fear or contradiction. Today, we may not need another fertilizer for top dressing. Once we apply the inorganic, the organic, the one of the SR, and then the power.
So we mix both.
We mix both and
the
plant.
Fertilizer,
now, when you're mixing the two, remember the other one is manure. It's just manure. We kind of increase the.
Do you think that we're going to use a lot of money? Because
it is not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money. Remember, we are trying to safeguard our crop. Or if you can't go the SR, you can use the cow dung, you can use the poultry manure, you can use the compost manure. Now this compost manure is just to ensure that we safeguard the moisture during the uncertain dry spell. Like for example, when we planted this maize, I'm certain we planted in September, and almost the better part of the September we never had rains. We've had some rains like the mid-October, between the first week of October, the second week of October, then the rains also disappeared. So imagine 1 month no rain. You can't put the nitrogen fertilizer, you can't put anything. So you are there stuck. You can't proceed, you can't go back. So such scenarios you want to and this is a mere proof that indeed it is actually doable. So from after planting, at 2 weeks,
Those are 14 days.
14 days, when our maize has 6 leaves, we mix BMO and Vano. We mix BMO and Vano.
For what reason? Why are we
Now,
mixing?
these ones are biostimulant.
This does.
Yeah? I remember specifically Vano has copper and zinc. And you know, the life of cereals, zinc is key. Now, copper is for the immune system. For the immune system.
That is spraying.
That is spraying. Now, when you are spraying, we spray at the funnel of the plant. You know, others will spray the way they normally spray weeds. That is wrong.
But people, they always tell us you just have to spray on their leaves.
No.
Once you spray on the leaves, that means you have done everything.
What we are doing here, we are strategic and intentional. The reason why we spray at the funnel of the plant is to ensure that we deprive all the weeds. They should not taste on this fertilizer. Remember, for them, the ability to adopt and thrive and colonize is very high. So imagine also exposing them to the fertilizers. They will triple the growth rate, which in turn will affect your what? Your crop. So that's why we are spraying in the funnel. And remember, for the fall crop BMO, its role is very simple. This one has boron and molybdenum
On the 14th.
on the 14th day. 2 weeks after planting. When you plant 2 weeks, I mean that day this grain has slept in the soil. We start counting. On the 15th day, you mix these 3 things. Now, the third one is an insecticide to combat fall armyworm. I know there are so many versions out
Still
there.
14th day.
Because we mix these 3 things together. I know there are those ones who normally say the cocktailing of chemicals is bad. But this one, when you look at my crop, don't you think that is something that you are admiring? Yeah? Don't you see me in cloud 9 when you are here struggling, scratching your head how things are done?
So you're trying to
So,
tell them what is
for me, I'm telling them what I've done here and the time frame so that they are able to produce the same. So, this one is used to combat fall armyworm. This one is a rich source of zinc and copper. This one is a rich source of boron and molybdenum.
At 14th day.
At 14th day, when you combine these 3 things together, the sky is the limit.
I want to ask.
Yes, please.
We might reach on our 14th day when we are not seeing the worms.
Well, it is very difficult in Uganda of today. Very difficult, very hard. Now, when do you know that you already have the caterpillar? You will see the white spots on the leaf. You will see the fecal matter at the tip of the leaf. Remember, fall armyworm is funny. Under normal circumstances, a caterpillar pulls its fecal matter on the ground. But this one puts on the what? At the tip of the leaves. We are yet, you can put, whoever has started that and has a reason why he should put in comment section.
That is called what?
This is Emeron.
Emeron.
Yes. Very ideal very ideal in combating fall armyworm. And then they are chemicals, more especially pyrethroid. Pyrethroid, the one that has pyrethroid, they first scorch the leaf. Emeron does not scorch the leaf. It leaves the leaf the way it is. And number one, it does not have that funny smell. Now, when I'm talking of funny smell, it's not a guarantee that it's not poisonous. It's highly toxic. You need to be careful. And that is why we encourage you to apply the PPP, protective measures, so that you don't poison yourself or intoxicate yourself.
We do all that at 14th day.
Now, I wanted to highlight more on the fall crop, Be More. Now, Be More, our dear growers, this is a game changer for our farmers who are out there. Game changer in the sense that, one, boron in its totality is the supervisor of the macronutrients. Remember, the macronutrients is the aramida power that we've put in the soil. So for it not to stagger and feed your plant honestly or holistically, you need to apply this. That is now the role of boron. Number two, it also enhances the biomass, the root system, so that the plant is able to produce enough roots to colonize the root system. Number three, it has the amino acids. They act as bumper, as shock absorbers for all the unnecessary challenge that you're likely to perform. But above all, they also aid in the photosynthesis. That is why, despite the fact that it has been dry, we've not had enough rains, and it can be demonstrated by the number of cobs that we're having. You realize that either one crop was supposed to give us 4 cobs, it has given 2.5 or 1.5. That means that plant suffered what? Moisture stress. So, and we are giving you workable alternatives. Then when you look at this garden, you are at least able to reaffirm that indeed this is the way to go. So, at week 2, we apply the mix of Yaramira, we apply Vano, we apply Bimo and Emeron. We spray, when you are spraying, we spray in the funnel of our plant. After that, we repeat after 2 weeks, after 14 days.
That means on 28th day.
On 28th day, we repeat the same. And with the same dosage, with the same mixture. And the beauty is, by the time it is on 28th day, you are able to see the results. And another advantage is, for those viewers who are out there who are confused, when you apply this, it is also an assurance that at least your plant is able to move on for almost close to 4 weeks without rain, and the plant still grows. That is why when you look at this maize, it's looking good, despite that the fact the environment is the surrounding is very dry.
So it works more better when there is rain.
Actually, because now, today we are no longer depending on the rains. Anytime it is today it is raining, anytime the rain goes for good. But now, what happens thereafter? That is why we are using these biostimulants. And in principle, biostimulants, their role is simple. Their role is just to harmonize the environmental conditions that are either harsh, or to prevent these harsh environmental conditions that would affect your crop. So for you to benefit, these things are very critical. And by the way, they are only applied twice. And I know for some farmers who will say, now since it is looking good, let me make it routine. No, save it for another day. Because at the end of the day, you will still be able to get the same results. Then on top of that, you also need to ensure that your garden is weed free. As I said earlier in the first episode, I talked of ensuring that weed free for the first 6 weeks. Now, where do we get this idea of first 6 weeks? By 6 weeks, your plant is able at least also to give weeds hard time, because they will have formed a canopy and they will be looking good, so that they are able to survive and also obstruct or disrupt the weeds from also conducting the photosynthesis and competing with them. So week 6 is the ideal time. I told you is the right time to spray the Yaramira, Nagundi, Fokro, Bimo. Now after that, when our maize is tasseling.
What do you mean by tasseling?
Tasseling is now producing the cob.
Okuweka.
Okuweka. This is now tasseling. Tasseling is the whatever. The flower, the male flower. Now as it tassels, it brings also the cobs. Now we spray 4-crop sweet. Now 4-crop sweet also is among the biostimulants. Now the work of 4-crop sweet, more especially in this particular one, is to ensure that this maize is sweet. Yeah?
I have
Sweetness.
a question there.
Yes.
Does 4-crop sweet helpful to only those who are going to harvest fresh? All like the other ones who will harvest grain?
You remember?
Do we all have to use that 4-crop sweet?
Remember, right now, because of climate change, different stresses cause different challenges on the crop. But now, one of the latest innovations that we want to ensure that we stabilize, we try to reduce these challenges, is to ensure that we come up with good innovations that are able to at least mitigate some of the challenges that the grower is going through. Now today, in this small garden, we are looking at our dear growers who think that now I'm going to grow for the fresh market. And for the fresh market, we want that particular signature mark that when you go to Patro Katerega, he has what? He has very sweet maize. And to ascertain, when we apply 4-crop sweet, this maize can be harvested and kept for 1 week, and then it still tastes the same. It does not lose that sweet taste.
Because you used this 4-crop
Because
sweet.
we use this one. And the reason why we're using this one, we also want to empower our growers to have the bargaining power. Imagine you harvest this maize and you are going to the market and you get a problem on the way. Yeah? Under normal circumstances, under normal maize, by the time you reach the market, there will be nothing like a taste. But with this, it will guarantee that that maize will be still tasty, as if it is from the garden that particular moment.
So it keeps the plant fresh.
Actually, it maintains, you know, for taste, we call it bricks. In science, we call it bricks. So 4-crop sweets assure us of what? Bricks. Number 2, it also assures of good grain filling during the dry spell.
We apply this in which?
When our maize has tasseled and this fruit, this cob has produced, when this flint is still fresh. So when we are spraying, we begin from here. The other, remember, we've been spraying in the funnel. But this one, we begin from here, then up to the tassel, then back. Like that. We just spray on the upper part. We just spray on the upper part. So the reason why we are doing that is to take care of, to put a command here. Be here, and then you command that you draw all the food here and swell faster. We are about to go.
How many times do we have to apply that?
We spray twice. Remember, maize, when it is growing, it will first bring the first flint, it dries, then a week later it also brings the second one. So as it brings the first one, you spray. When this one dries and then the second comes, you also do the second spraying. And the beauty with this kind of thing, sometimes there are some cases like now this one. There is a caterpillar that enters inside. You can also mix with what? Emeron. So that you kill this caterpillar. Remember, when it enters inside, let's say you can now not even supply to the high-end market. Imagine you are opening the maize and you find the caterpillar inside. It is a turn-off. These ones who boil. They are boil, you are opening and you find the caterpillar inside. It's a turn-off. So you also add Emeron so that you kill it so that it does not enter and distort your cob.
Okay.
So today, basically, when you look at our demo, it is yummy. it is yummy. And those are the simple steps. Yeah? You don't have to be a professor anywhere in order for you to produce this, but you need to be systematic. You need to have a plan.
You have to follow the procedure.
And follow the procedure, which is actually very easy. Yeah? So we call upon our farmers as we are lamenting, oh, those are salespeople, those are, smile, they are not farmers, smile, they are not people. We are confusing people. Farmers. In fact, it is you, the farmer, who is confusing yourself. Because if farmers were adopting these technologies, I wouldn't have time struggling doing this. I would be busy looking up and down, looking for other varieties that are able to produce this. But now, we need to actually ascertain or reaffirm to our growers that indeed what we are talking about is true.
It's real.
Is real. Remember, when you look at this maize, it is double cobbing, double cobbing, double cobbing.
Or even triple.
Even triple. Now, when you look at this small garden, and then you replicate, you replicate in your garden, you realize that indeed this work is very simple. And that is why, as Faith Agro, we believe in breaking down this complex science that farmers are dreaming about into a simple, doable, and affordable.
For more information, provide your contact such that these people can get you.
Now, if you are pleased with this, kindly get in touch with me on WhatsApp, +256 751 938489, +256 751 938489. And please don't fear. As I said, coming up with such a garden is very simple. And then with this current way of doing things, at least we assure you of total performance. Remember, there are key issues we are looking at. You need to get the right seed. And this right seed, it's either DK9089, DK777, DK8031, and DK8033. All those varieties are good, and you can enable you achieve this. Then on this other, on my right side, we have Tembo 73, we have Pundamilia 555, then we have Tumbili, we have Sidco 419, there is Sidco 555, there is Sidco 73. All these are geared towards ensuring that our growers have enough planting material and the material that are actually work. And then how they work, as I said earlier, spacing is key. One seed per hole, because it's very good in terms of ensuring that you buy exactly what you want. Number two, spacing is key. I know farmers have so many challenges. When you are doing the initial steps of doing the lines, you see that there are a lot of spaces. Please leave it the way they are. Remember, these are three-way cross hybrids. They don't grow tall, although mine appears to be so tall, but even if they are tall,
they give you what they're supposed to.
The number of leaves are still intact. So if the number of leaves are few and you are over squeezing them together, the stem does not enlarge. And if the stem does not enlarge, it will never give you the sizable crop that you can take to the market. So farming is doable. Get in touch. And I want to thank all those of you followers of Farm Chief. I know you made Farm Chief a big man, but let's keep sharing. Let's keep engaging. It is through this that we are able to make farming profitable. It is through this that we are able to earn. You see, they say farming is profitable. Remember, here I planted one seed. Now, if we had time and opened this one and counted the number of seeds that are there, that is when you realize that farming is
doable and
is profitable.
Yes.
Because you multiply, you plant one and get several.
Sure.
So it should not be a curse on our side as farmers. We need to approach it in a sober way, consult, over-consult, ask, and then together we will be able to feel. Remember, the reason why we are coming up with all these innovations. One, the population is growing. That means there is pressure on arable land. Number two, when there is a climate change, the weather is changing, the weather is rampant. Now, the only way we can do that is ensure that we do things differently. It is through doing things differently that we are able to move on and survive. Thank you very much.
Okay, nothing I'm going to add on. I think you've heard it very well, as he has said earlier before, that if you're having any question, if you're having anything you want to tell us, please just go in the comment section. Give us what you want us to tell you. If you are in need of seeds, please, you just go in the comment section. You've had his contact. Contact him. Of course, everything will be wow. Till then, a very good afternoon, good morning, and good evening.
For more information, visit and subscribe to the Farm Chief YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Farm Fast. Office next.